Welcome back into Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. We are here with the Albertville Aggies head coach, Coach Christy West. And Coach, we appreciate you coming on and bringing your seniors with you today. How's it been going for you?
It's going well. Going well. We won tonight, which is always good. So we're at 8-8 right now. And out of our 16 matches we played, I would say one of them was kind of on the weaker side, but the other 15, good teams.
Good
so we're
teams.
playing good competition.
Well, Coach, I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you. You're undefeated when Average Joe shows up. You're 2-0.
That's right. That's right.
So we're going to have to send someone every single time you guys go out. Now, we just interviewed your seniors, and a lot of really genuine talk positively about you, about the school and the community. What's it like coaching these five young ladies right here? Because it seems to me like you guys seem like more than a team. It seems like family just from talking to you guys. I don't know you guys personally, but just from that's what I'm picking up on.
Yes, I agree. It's easy. They're easy to coach. The other girls look up to these five. We have 13 total, and they defer to these five on everything. They're good girls. They work hard. They don't try to miss practice or look for reasons not to be there. You know, they look for reasons to be there. And they all play. Bayla's hurt right now, but if she weren't, she would be. They're all quality players who get a lot of time.
Yeah.
So they're pretty easy to coach.
Coach, how special is that? And I'm not taking a shot at these young ladies, but this generation is different than the generation you and I grew up in. Well, I'm old. You're not as old as I am, Coach.
I bet I am.
But how much of a blessing is that to have young ladies with those attributes you just mentioned to be able to coach in this new era?
Yeah, it means everything. They don't have to be here. They could be doing anything. I think every one of them work, and I know they're involved in their churches and countless other sports and things. So they choose to do it, and I'm proud they do because they don't have to be there.
You got that right. It's a different world, and a lot of times, unfortunately, in the new era, a lot of kids choose not to be there.
Right.
They'd rather stay home, and some of them just go hit the couch.
Right.
I have a couple. Right. I have two kids, and one of them hits the couch, and we battle all the time. But another thing, like Coach, let's talk about this team in particular. You said you guys are 8-8 right now.
Yes.
You had a tough summer. These young ladies have been put, what I like to call put into the fire. Mm-hmm. You put them into the fire, and then you see what happens at the back end of that fire. What have you learned from these young ladies through those summer workouts, and now over into this season? It being 8-8.
Well, they were willing to put the work in this summer. We have a good strength coach, Gavin, Coach Halford, and he's really good. And the gym is hot. It's not a gym, I guess it's the workout room, but there's no air in there. But they're really good at the weights. I think that's made a difference. And we've just tried to play some tough teams and tournaments. We went to the Bodie tournament, Birmingham, and going in, unless you are just super duper and a huge team, you're not going to win. You go to get experience and to see teams from all over the state, the best teams from all over the state. So,
how much better does that make you as a team? Like you said, whether you win or not, to see them compete on the highest level?
I think in the end, that's what makes the difference. If we do well in county, like they said was their goal, if we do well in area and make it to regionals, it's going to be because we've seen that level of play and realize that's what it takes. And it does.
No doubt. Having a group of 5 young ladies on a team of 13 that are all leaders, one being injured, leading from the bench, how special is that for you? I mean, it's got to be something special because the best teams in any sport are player-led teams.
Right.
They may have a great coach, obviously, but the player-led teams where you don't have to stay on them about doing extra reps or stay on them about going through these, this extra sprints we're doing, whatever it may be, when the players get on to the other players, how awesome is that?
Yeah, it's the best. Like
different
tonight,
world.
Yeah, one of our best players, Molly Morrison, she's tough. She plays all the way around. She's sick. And by the 5th set, we went to 5 with Geraldine. She couldn't go. And so she never sits out, but she had to tonight, and these girls stepped up. Other girls too, but these seniors really stepped up.
That's amazing.
Because that's a lineup we weren't even used to, but they handled it.
That's beautiful, Coach. Now let's dive into your thoughts as a coach. Let's go next level here. What's it going to take to achieve some of these goals these young ladies talked about, being county, making it to Birmingham? You know, as a coach, obviously what it's going to take. What if you had to speak to these girls individual, but they're all going to see this video, I'm sure. So what would you like to say to them, the parents, everybody listening, what it's going to take to get those goals accomplished?
Mm-hmm. Well, in volleyball, it does take the club ball. And the girls have bought in. I believe every single girl on JV and varsity played this year. Erica couldn't. She has some church responsibilities, but all the rest did, and she has in the past. And it's the world we live in.
That's
you know, in volleyball, you have to. So they've put that work in. Our JV team is really tough. We've got great coaches. We've got 4 others besides me that are good, and they know the game. Learning from losses. You know, we've had our share. We'll have more. But you can learn from that too, and these girls have been willing to so far. And you know, stick with it, stick with it, stick with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The movie Rocky Balboa was based on that. He didn't win the first match.
Right.
It's just he went the distance.
Right.
He didn't quit. So it makes all the difference in the world.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, Coach, I mentioned this to the young ladies earlier. We talked about the communication, and you're seeing it from the bench perspective. They talked about it from a player's perspective. Talk about the communication throughout these young ladies on and off the court, because they have got to have good communication. Obviously, I can tell by listening to them, they seem cohesive. Talk about the communication, how you guys get along as a group.
Yeah, they get along pretty well as far as I know, as far as I can tell. This group is not a loud group. They're not really talkers by nature. Now, the JV group is.
They are.
But, you know, every group's
Yeah.
different. And I think Bayla said, like, we communicate with our face sometimes, and they do. They're just more in tune from playing all these years, I guess.
Gotcha.
You know.
Coach, do you communicate by your face every once in a while?
Probably.
Do you give them the death stare every once in a while? They're all laughing, so I think that's a positive. Is that true?
Sometimes.
We're going to leave that one for another show. Coach, before we let you get out of here, I got 2 more questions for you. The first one is, in your opinion, you know, you've been coaching this a long time. What are some of the things about the new era of volleyball, as opposed to when you played, that you like, and some of the things you don't really like so much as a coach? I love asking that question.
Well, rally scoring, of course, it's been around for a while, but it totally changed the game.
I agree with that.
Much more exciting. Someone scores on every play.
I agree with that.
So, you know, my husband used to coach soccer, and it seemed like in some soccer games, you could outplay the other team but still get beat.
That's right.
There's so little scoring, but that's
right.
not so in volleyball. If you play the best, you will win in volleyball.
That's correct.
The club aspect, too, has changed everything. Coaches have changed. 20, 25 years ago, you know, there was really a handful of programs in the state that were dominant, and they had coaches that knew volleyball. But now so many of these girls have played, and college girls have played, and they're all on the scene.
That's right.
It's just getting better and tougher all the time.
It's a different world.
Yes.
But since Average Joe started, 6 years ago, I have seen it go to
Yes.
this whole other level.
It's huge.
Yes. I mean, I'm telling you, we share anything volleyball explodes. It's like
Yes.
to me, it's like it's been caged up.
Yeah.
Because it's been under this football umbrella. And Courtney Brothers from Gadsden State and I was really good friends, and I talked to her about it. I was like, volleyball should own Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
And we'll give them Friday.
Yeah.
That's what I said. And she agreed. And we try to model that one step at a time to get to that level. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's happening in some aspects.
I do, too. Our season got moved back a week this year, and so we were able to go see Snead and Gadsden State play that first Thursday, and the gym was packed.
Packed. I remember
Yes,
that.
it was
We
great.
actually had a photographer there. They said it was unbelievable
Yeah, it was
atmosphere.
great.
That's what you want, though.
Yes.
You want that. And you guys are going to play in some of those same atmospheres
Yeah.
this year. I know it's coming. Coach, final thoughts before I let you out of here, just on this team in general and the future right here, the immediate future with this team and heading forward.
Well, this team has a lot of potential. We've not reached it yet, the top, and we know that, and we're still learning and getting better and working. We want that county. We want some wins in area. We want to get at least one in the area championship and make it to regionals, you know, step by step. And I think we can do it. I think they think we can. I know we can if we play well. And we've got some good girls coming up in the next few years too that are all in. So I think the future is bright at Albertville.
Just talking with you and these young ladies right here, I'm ready to go to battle with you guys. So I think it can happen. Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us so much, and thank you for bringing the young ladies out here, even after a game and a 5-set match of victory today. We're looking forward to keeping up with you guys this season. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics right after this. Welcome back into Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. We are honored to have two young ladies from the Albertville Aggies volleyball team here with us today, and I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves at this time.
America Tidwell. I'm Kim Somerville.
Obviously, you can see they're not going to stop smiling. They just come off another victory. Actually, we've seen these young ladies play twice this year, and both times we've seen them play, they've had victories. So I guess Coach is going to schedule Caleb and I to come watch these young ladies play more often. Let's rewind the clock a little bit. Up here on this mountain, athletics is a little bit different than it is everywhere else. It's the utmost importance, and it don't matter what sport it is, you guys have to come and compete. But not only that, you guys are now a 7A team, so there is zero room for error. Let's talk about what the summer workouts was to prepare you guys for this all-important season that you're in now. Each one of you guys can answer this, and any one of you can start.
Well, they were tough, but I feel like us using our summer that we did, it just got us so ready and prepared. Yeah, the summer workouts did definitely prepare us more for our season.
Now, when the regular season got here and you guys started playing for real, obviously everything Coach told you over the summer, I'm sure probably came true, and the beautiful thing about it is when the season starts, a lot of that work that you did in the summer doesn't come out till late in the games. The hard work, the extra running, the conditions, stuff like that. How hard was that summer, and how has it translated over into this regular season so far?
Well, we were in a very, very hot gym, and I think just getting our sweat and working hard, towards the end of the game, you can tell, like, this is literally what summer was. Like, you feel the same way. Right. So it really prepared us.
All right, let me ask you guys individually questions right here. Do you guys play travel as well?
I did for 3 years with Coach West, actually, with the Mountain Valley course.
Love it.
I did with the Impact for 3 years, and then I did for my last 2 years with SCPA.
How much different is it than the high school game? I know a high school game at a 7A is a total different conversation than high school at a 2 or 1 or 3A. Each one of you guys can answer that.
For me, it's different because in 7A you have a lot more competition, and in travel also you don't know all the girls that you know from your high school, and so you have to make new friends and work together, and eventually you come together as a team to travel. It's just a different atmosphere with everybody. So you just have to get to know everybody and learn how to work with each other. Right.
Now, you mentioned Coach over here. How important is she in your lives? I'm not just talking about on the court. I'm talking about as a mentor, like someone you can look up to outside of sports.
She's just very outgoing and energetic, and we all look at her. We're like, I hope I'm her when I'm older, because she's just so pretty, and we love her. And she's always like, something could come up in each one of our lives, and she's always there to understand. And she's just very there for us. You know?
Love it.
Yes, I will agree with that. She's very, very understanding of any circumstance.
All right, now let's dive into this season. You ladies ultimately have an ultimate goal of probably winning the blue mat. It may be your goal, it may not be your goal. Your goal may be to win the day. Because I've talked to a lot of players in different sports that their goal is literally to win that day. And that's the only thing they see is one step in front of them. But your goals this year, talk about those individually. They could be team collective goals, or it could be something that you've set out for yourself.
say like a team goal that I would like for us to have is I want us to win county, and when we go to Gulf Shores, I would like for us to do good in that as well.
Love it.
Yeah, I agree. I want to at least win county and possibly win at least one game in area if we could, and definitely do good at Gulf Shores because I hate going all the way over there and, you know, not totally getting all that we put in, and I just want to be able to do that.
Yes, it's anytime you travel, you definitely want to represent your school or town well. Let's bring it back in, and you guys mentioned the word county. If you can win, if you can be the champion of Marshall County, that's saying something. Because there's some elite volleyball players and teams here. Talk about what that would mean, not only for you guys individually, but for the school of Albertville to be county champions.
I feel like it would just boost our confidence because being in 7A is like really, really tough, and just being able to have that and have that trophy, I feel like it would just like give us the confidence that we need. Right, I agree with that.
Let's change gears a little bit. Which one of you two guys drives Coach the craziest? Coach? What would you just say?
They're not a bit of trouble.
Neither one of these two are?
No.
You do have a class clown on the team, I'm sure. It's usually the libero on most teams, honestly. Not on this team.
Not on this one. No.
Okay. All right.
I feel like SJ would be our Alana or SJ. Yeah.
I have to check in on that, but before we let you guys go and get Coach up here, give me some final thoughts of each one of you guys, not only on the season, but you know, just overall thoughts of the program and you guys being a part of this, being at 7A and representing your schools and county.
I feel like we have a really good program. We started in kind of rough like 3 years ago, and then Coach West came in, and we've been getting it really well. And I think we're gonna do good this year. Years to go.
Love it.
Yes, we've definitely improved from when we first started out being 7A because the title 7A kind of all scared us. But we've kind of realized that if we just put in the effort that we want and we need, then we'll do just fine.
100%. Well, ladies, I appreciate you guys sitting in with us. We're going to bring Coach up here now, and we'll be right back with Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. All right, welcome back in to Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. We are here with some more Albertville Aggies volleyball squad. You call it squad or team? What do you guys prefer? Team. We're back with some more Albertville Aggies volleyball team. And I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves at this time.
My name is Emma Plunkett. I'm Kaylin Bowman. And I'm Emma Greer.
All right, Emma, hang on to that mic and even pass it back. I want each one of you guys to answer this. When I say the words Albertville Aggie and you're part of that program, what does that mean to you personally?
This means a lot, and I've just always felt like home. So I'm there since kindergarten now. I'm a senior. It just feels like home.
Coach, you didn't go recruit her? So she's been there since kindergarten. Okay, all right. Check it, Coach.
We're really close, like our school, like we've tried to come together more because like, you know, we're 7A and people think, oh, you're 7A, like you can't compete, but like I feel like these past few years we're trying to like prove everybody wrong. So everybody's just like trying to come together.
No doubt.
It's definitely family for me, especially all 5 of us because we grew up together. So when I think about it, I think it's family.
All right, when you think about being a senior year, first question is, it's a 2-part question for each one of you guys. Did you ever think your senior year would be here, first of all? And then the second part of that, how important is it to you personally to leave a legacy or a foundation for some of these younger girls to grow from?
Well, my senior year's been different. I tore my ACL. So it gives me a different perspective on volleyball, and I see things that some girls on the court don't. And that's what makes it special for me. And that's what my legacy that I want to leave is just like always be grateful for the amount of time that you spend on the court with your teammates, because you never know when it'll end.
It could be at a practice or anything.
Yeah, I feel like senior year just came like really quick. Like I was just a freshman not long ago, and I was looking up thinking, oh, I have so much more time, and then all of a sudden it's like we're seniors now, and it's just sad. But we're trying to get it all we have, and we have a lot of seniors this year, and I feel like that helps because we all, push like our team.
I agree. It has got here a lot quicker than I realized it'd come. I feel like this is coming like so quick and it's here. But both things that they said, I agree with them.
Now, I asked the other young ladies the same question I'm about to ask you guys. What does coach mean to you off the court? Like, as in a mentorship role, or as a person that you guys not only look up to, but can confide in and trust, and she helps you in your day-to-day life?
Yes, I love her, and I just know that she's always here for us when we need her, and she just always has the right thing to say to us. And she just pushes us even off the floor, on the floor.
Yeah, I agree with what they said. Like, she's not like an intimidating coach, but she's like, she pushes you, like what she's telling you, like, is right. Like, if you ever need anything outside of volleyball too, she's somebody that you could, talk to, like, about anything.
Yeah, really what they said. She's always there for me and asking how I'm doing. And her husband's really good friends with my dad. And they're really close, so that makes us close too.
That's not good for you because you can't get away with it.
Yes.
Hey, your role's changed. I mean, you become a coach, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got called a coach by Rep the other day.
Hey, talk about that a little bit and how that role. I mean, that's what, and coach will attest to this, I'm sure. When you have someone get injured that knows the game, I'm sure like you do, it definitely helps coach, and to have a player-led team like that, it has to help. Talk about your role now.
Yeah, like I said, I can definitely see things on the court that they can't. So like when I'm on the sidelines, I always say like, if someone's trying to go up and Sip, I'll be like, hey Sip, or close the block and stuff like that. So it's basically, I'm basically a mini coach.
Coach, is she gonna start checking people in for you?
She could.
She knows the rotations, huh?
Yeah.
Now, when I pass this back, this is something I kind of asked the other young ladies as well, and they mentioned, winning Marshall County, being in Marshall County champs is huge. What would it mean to you guys to become Marshall County champions right here your senior year?
I think it would mean a lot to us just because we are seniors, and I don't think people in County are.
Not since like,
Yeah, it's been a while since Albertville Volleyball and County.
I think it has been since we were in
Yeah, we
Really?
haven't won since we've been 7A. Like, County's always like, goodness, like we play club ball with a lot of the girls around us, and it's just really competitive. Like, everybody, like, I don't know, it's always been.
I just think that if we could win coming this year, just since we're seniors first of all, but also it would be a huge step, I guess, in our program to win
Absolutely.
or being the first 7-8 team. I don't know, but that's what our goals are.
One thing that I always notice in volleyball, and I say this, and I've took slack from other sports for this, but I'm going to say it here again. Volleyball to me is the sport that you have to have communication more than any other. And I'm talking football, basketball, it don't matter. Softball, golf by yourself, it don't matter. In volleyball, you have to communicate. Period. If you do not communicate, you're finished. Talk about you guys' communication and how fluid. Like you guys, y'all know where each of you gonna be and things like that. And talk about your communication and knowing where the other girls are.
I think we've grown as the season has gone. I know that we've gotten better at communicating. I just think we have to trust, and if we trust comes with communication. So
I agree with
I
that.
think we're building that. It's going good.
I agree with that.
I feel like a lot of us, we've all played together for a long time, so we know I know where she's gonna be. Before the play even starts, we usually plan what we're gonna try to do, and it makes it a lot easier when you play with people for a long time. And you just
trust them. Like, you know who you can trust, which we can trust, like, there's not one hitter. Like, I trust every single one of my hitters. There's not one person like, okay, I gotta set them. Like, I can set anybody up. Because I trust. We all trust each other.
Love it.
I think a big thing for all of us is communicating with your face. We had talked about it the other day. It's really important to not, like, show mentally, like, on your face if you're having a good day or if you're having a bad day. Because especially for us, since we're seniors, everyone looks up to us. And it's just really important for us to keep a good attitude so everyone else can have so much.
Before we shut you guys' interviews down, I ask you guys the same thing. It's kind of final thoughts. Just going to be an Albertville Aggie, being a senior, being in the situation, having your whole season in front of you. Just final thoughts on that.
I think our really big goal is to win county and area, at least one game in area, so we can make it to a firm county. That's a really big goal for me. And yeah.
Yeah, same. County, well, first county, like, that's not goal, but area this year, like, we've never done it. Like, I just really, we need to win. Well, we need to win games before we get to the tournament, like, so that we're seeded good. Well, we know we can do it, and I feel like this year, like, we can do it if we just play like we can play.
Yes, I agree with the things I said, and
Just final thoughts on being a senior, being an Albertville Aggie.
yes, I'm just excited, and I know that we have a bunch of potential. And like I said, I know that we have a good shot at especially making it past the first game of area and going to the championship game, and county too. But I know it would be a very big accomplishment to win county and to make it to the area championship.
Love
And I'm
it.
excited. Go Aggies!
Love it.
Yeah, go Aggies!
Once an Aggie, always an Aggie.
Hey,
Go Aggies!
don't say that when they play the Crimson Tide. Hey, appreciate you guys so much for sitting in with us, and we'll be right back with Keeping Up with Marshall County Aggie.
Welcome in, everybody, to Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics, live at Wenzel's Oyster House in Gunnersville. Caleb Brooks, joined by head football coach at Albertville High School, Coach Burt Brown. Coach, you make the move down here to Albertville from Tennessee. You've been at Tennessee Tech coaching at the college level for a while now, and now coaching here at the high school level. And kind of starting with that, tell me a little bit about what the biggest difference has been for you in going from the college level to here, and then not only that, but adjusting from a whole new state, a whole new area for you moving down here as well.
Well, I mean, for me, it's just the fact that, I've been in and out of college and high school. I was offensive coordinator at West Georgia, offensive coordinator at Holmes Community College, and so I've been in and out of college football and high school, and so the adjustment wasn't too bad. I mean, college is a different animal. There's things you got more time with them in college. There's a lot more things that you can do schematically. But for me, it's not a big adjustment because I've been doing it and I've done it. And Alabama, me and my wife love this area. She's a Cookeville girl, raised right there in Monterey, went to Tennessee Tech. She loves it here, 2.5 hours from Cookeville. So, it's a pretty easy adjustment for her. For me, she's never really been away from home and is having a, like I think she did. She did an internship at Disneyland or Disney World, whatever it is, in Florida for a year and stuff like that. But anyway, she loves it. We love it here.
Obviously, I mean, you have some experience in recruiting, coaching at the college level and stuff. Where do you feel like that can help you? Obviously, we're just recruiting your own school. You were kind of telling us beforehand, there's some guys walking the halls that you feel like could come help you also. Where do you kind of feel like your experience in recruiting college kids to come to a school can kind of help you just recruiting within your school?
Well, I mean, I've done it at every high school I've been at. You got to recruit the hallways. The coaches, your assistant coaches have to recruit the hallways. They have to get out there and talk to kids and tell them, hey, you come out, play, and we'll get you in that weight room, make you bigger and stronger and faster and all that stuff. And then we've got to do a good job of recruiting the 5th and 6th grade and in the 7th and 8th grade, and keeping those classes. And you know, our junior and senior class are very small for a 7A football program, and this being my first year there, you know, like I told the coaches, I said, we got to do a great job of reaching out to these kids and getting them interested in Albertville High School football. So, and then for me as a recruiter, I mean, kids are about bells and whistles, and they're that way in college. I mean, in the high school level. So, as when you recruit them, they're all the same. They like the shiny stuff and the shiny objects, and so, you know, you get them T-shirts and stuff like that, and make it, you know, our game night atmosphere is about second to none in high school. I mean, it's a great atmosphere. We got a great band with 400 kids in it that make a big, loud noises and play music, and so it's a great atmosphere to play in. We just have to, you know, we need our senior and junior class need to have 30 in it apiece if we want to compete at the 7A level. And that's my plan. I mean, we're gonna grow our class and grow those kids and get them in there playing.
What was the biggest thing that really kind of stood out to you about this Albertville job when you looked at it and ended up making the decision to take it?
Well, for me, the administration, our principal Jordan Phillips, our athletic director Matt Lambert, and you know, they interviewed me, and I just felt like when I came out of there. That Todd Watkins was in there, assistant superintendent. Those 3 guys were in there, and I just left out of there feeling very good about those 3 men and the vision that they had. You know, they know it's, you know, they understand what we've got to do. My plan is a lot faster than everybody else's plan to get winning football. I'm not a very good loser. I don't take it very well. So you know, we need to start winning and do it now. That's always been my philosophy. Every program I've ever taken over, and you know, so you know, I've suffered through a 1-10 season at a job where I took over. They hadn't won a game the year before I got there. We went 1-10 the next year. We were undefeated in the region, one of the region champions for the first time in 7 years there. So, you know, my plan's going to happen pretty fast in my eyes and the way I want it to work, and that's what I've told our coaches.
How much do you kind of feel like, you know, you talk about your plan, things like that, how much do you feel like when you kind of let that be known and you kind of show some confidence and, hey, you know, I feel like what I'm going to do is going to work, how much do you feel like that really trickulates down to your kids and them also believing in what you have planned as well?
Well, I've been talking about that since I got here from day one, about what we want to do. And you know, we've got to get the kids out in the school that can play, that can help us. You know, there's several kids in that school right now that could help us tremendously, and the outcome of the last 2 games would be a different outcome. It wouldn't be, in my opinion, what it was if those kids would play. And so for me coming in, you know, a junior or senior that doesn't know me. Might not play, but I can reach those younger kids and get them out and get them in our program and progressing and all those kind of things. So, you know, I think all of that will trickle down to the younger kids and get kids excited about playing.
I mean, you know, it's no secret the last 4 or 5 years in Albertville haven't been what people wanted, you know, what you would want as a coach and all, and, you know, but what's probably the toughest thing or the hardest part of coming in to a group that hasn't had as much success recently and getting them to believe that, hey, we can go have success, and, you know, the past here doesn't, you know, mean that we can't go on and go do something special as a group.
And that's just it. I think that, you know, kids are you know, I think you can steer them in the right direction and they'll follow you if they believe in you. And it all starts in the off season, the weight room, things like that, doing those kind of things. And our kids worked extremely hard this summer. They're in there 4 days a week at 7:30 in the morning and doing things. And I keep telling them, good things are going to happen for you. Keep working hard, don't give up. And that's our plan. I mean, we are going to get these kids out, and we're going to get them loving football and wanting to play. And we've got a very good freshman bunch, a very good sophomore bunch, and you know, we play a bunch of those guys on Friday night. You know, we start an 8th grader Friday night at quarterback. So, you know, we got some young kids, so there's some good things coming from Albertville.
You know, we've talked about your time coaching college, coaching high school. When you go back and forth with your offense and your defense and all of it, do you have to simplify some things coming down to the high school level, or do you try to run it the same way you would with college kids?
You know, my offensive coordinator is Ken Karcher, and he's been to FBS. He was the OC at Pittsburgh, and he was the head coach at Liberty, and 32-year college and professional football coach. And my defensive coordinator was 22-year college coach, 10-year college head coach. But we have simplified things. Of course, you can't run all the stuff that, you know, all the coverages and all that stuff defensively that you can run in college. But we've simplified those things. Both those guys have done that. And so, you know, and that's the thing. We can build on that next year. What we're doing this year, you can add on and do those kind of things. So we're not real complicated because we really can't be right now.
You know, and talking about your past in high school sports and then now entering back into it, obviously the time frame that you can be with your kids has just continued to grow and continue to increase. What you can do in the summer has increased.
Yep.
How much has that helped you stepping into this role and you guys kind of being more up to speed than maybe teams in the past would have been at this point?
I'm really and truly, this summer, I asked a lot from our kids. They were in there for 3 hours, 4 days a week, and really worked hard. And that was good for us because we were in the weight room, we were out on the field learning our offense, learning our defense. And so that was a tremendous help for us this summer, and it's going to be a tremendous help for us next summer. I won't go 4 days a week next summer, but coming in fresh in March, I felt like with mostly, you know, a lot of new coaches that we needed to do that so that those kids could understand that. But we'll probably do three days a week next summer, and you know, not have to do as much of that simply because, you know, they got a year under their belt with us.
Tell me about these first 2 weeks for you guys, and what's, I guess, the biggest thing that has stood out to you that, hey, we have got to fix this if we want to get where I want to be as a program?
Well, we have pulled a gun out and shot ourselves in the foot about every quarter. And I'm talking about a big gun, not a little one. And, you know, just against Arab, we absolutely just, you know, we get a huge play, it's getting us inside the 20, and we could do a personal foul afterwards. You know, stuff like that. You can't do that stuff. Jumping off sides on 4th and 3 on the goal line Friday night, you can't do that. I mean, you just can't do it. And against Arab, we jumped off 3 times on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and gave them automatic first down. And, you know, those are things you can't do. And like I told the kids, I said, we've yet to have an opponent beat us because we've done it. You know, and I mean, not taking anything away from either one of those teams because they're both very good teams, Arab and Boaz, they are. But I would have loved to have seen 2 weeks, and you know, that can be contributed to some youth, but there were some seniors in there making those mistakes too. But we can't continue to do that because it will, you know, you just can't win football games, especially when you're not as talented as some people. When you're not as talented as teams that you're playing, those are things that you cannot do because it's hard to overcome not being as talented as somebody and then, you know, shooting yourself in the foot constantly.
You know, obviously the news starting to get out there about a situation that you guys have had to deal with this week, and you know, Julius J.J. Staten obviously has unfortunately passed away, and you know, you were kind of telling us beforehand you've never had to deal with something like this before as a coach, and so kind of what has, you know, really this last 24, 48 hours really been like for you having to go through something like this and deal with a lot of high school age kids? Yeah,
well, the thing about it is we were getting ready to go out to practice for a defensive meeting, and that's when I learned that he had passed away. So, you know, it's kind of my job to tell our kids that, and that was something that that you're not prepared to do. I mean, no matter what, that's something as a head football coach you never even think that you'll ever have to do. looking those young kids in the eye and tell them one of their teammates has passed away is pretty tough. And then going and seeing JJ's mama, that was, man, that was tough. And I know she's having a rough time, and please, you all pray for her and give her strength, because that's her big old baby. And, you know, JJ's just such a good kid, big old teddy bear, and just a pleasure to coach. You know, just one of those kids that always was, you know, joking around with me saying I need to be a tight end. You know, I said, no, you're 300 pounds, you're an offensive tackle. Things like that that you really enjoy from that kid. And it's been, you know, it's been hard on our kids. It's been hard on our coaches. You know, I've only known JJ since March, but it seems like I've known him 10 years. That's the type of kid he is. He's just easy to get to know, and he always enjoyed coming up and giving me a hard time about my hair and things like that, or lack of. And so he will be missed immensely.
And I'm glad you kind of talked about that. You know, I coached a group in the spring coaching baseball, and I didn't get to know any of them guys till January, and then all of a sudden May hits, it's the end of the year, and it's like those seniors, I felt like I'd known them my whole entire life. And so how tough is that, where you've only known them for 6 months, but you're around them almost every single day, to where you have felt like you've known them for so long.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think about our kids is we got some real good kids, and so it was, and they want to win. You know, our kids want to win, because we haven't done that here in a long time, I guess. And so, well, I know it's been 5 years since they had a winning season, I think. And so, for me, you know, I think it was a pretty easy transition coming in and getting to know them, and having the summer, and really them coming in, you know, for 3 hours a day, like I say, 4 days a week. You really get to know kids, and it's a great group of kids. They want to win. We just got to limit our mistakes, our 65 yards and penalties, things like that.
You know, you've talked about JJ as the person. Tell us a little bit about him as the player, and kind of the leader he was at practice and things like that as well.
Yeah, well, JJ, you know, me and him have sat down a few times and talked about college football, and, you know, he's a big old strong kid, and he, you know, and I told him, I said, you know, JJ, here's the things that you have to do to play college football. Here's what you have to do to impress a college football coach, because I've stood on the sideline at high school games. I've watched film, and so I know what a college coach is looking for. I've sat in many staff meetings at the collegiate level and talked about kids, and talked about, take him off the board. We no longer want him because of this, or I like this guy better because of that. And so I think that JJ would have played college football somewhere, and been a real good football player for somebody, and you know, just an even better kid. You know, just I can't say enough about what kind of a kid he was. You know, just. That's what I will miss the most is me and him talking, you know, walking back from the practice field, or the weight room, or something like that, or him just swinging by the office and saying something to me.
Turning your attention now to Friday, what is going to be, I guess, the hardest part of getting your kids to focus on the game, going out, executing, doing some of the things you've talked about, and not really having that situation or anything? You know, obviously, I mean, you want them to feel like, you know, hey, we want to go play well for him and do some things for him, but, you know, you can't let that, I guess, get in the way of playing the game and going and doing, because obviously you talked about him wanting to win and this team wanting to win. That would be the best way to, you know, go out there and kind of honor his
memory.
Right,
I think it's something his mother told our kids when they were over at the house, and hugged them and said, go out and play Friday night as hard as you can for JJ. And, you know, I've had several friends. I know Coach McAbee, Paul McAbee's had 3 kids pass away while he was coaching them, and I gained a lot of knowledge from him. And then I've had a buddy in Kentucky that's had 2 the last 2 years. He's had 1 each year pass away. And matter of fact, I called him before I went in and talked to the kids and told the kids about it. And I just said, hey, you know, how do you say this? What do you do? And but all to a man. And I've had Coach Watson at Hazel Green. He's had a kid pass away. He called me yesterday, and I've had a lot of coaches email me, text me, and tell me, Coach Reese here at Gunnersville, and Coach at Boaz, Coach Sullivan
Yes.
at Boaz. He came over yesterday right after he heard, and he's had a kid pass away, and so we sat in there and talked, and it's a tough thing, but like to a man, every one of them said, get them right back as quick as you can into some sort of normalcy for them that will help them more than anything. They've all been through this, and so today, obviously yesterday we canceled practice, did not practice, and today we practiced. We went a little shorter than usual, and then tomorrow we'll go out and have a full practice.
Tell me about today's practice. I mean, what kind of focus and energy did you kind of see at practice?
I liked it. I liked our focus and our energy. I thought our kids went out and did some good things, and I know it's with a heavy heart, but they went out and they took care of business today.
Tell me about Florence on Friday. What's really kind of stood out to you about this team when you see them on film, and what are some of the things that they're going to be able to do to give you guys some issues that you're going to have to worry about?
Well, defensively, they're very good. I went and watched them. We played A-Rev on a Thursday night. They played Pinson Valley on Friday night. I went to Pinson Valley and watched that game. And defensively now, they're the real deal. Offensively, they got a real good running back. They've got some big, strong, good-looking kids, and we're going to have our hands full. Especially without JJ. Like I told the kids, I said, right now we're 0-0 because this is our first region game. The other two, we're not going to count them. We're 0-0. Let's go and start a new season here. And they're a tough football team. There's no question. Even though they're 0-2, they've played Pinson Valley and let's see, not Moody. I'll think of it in a minute. My mind is going, but they've had two pretty tough football games that they've played, and I think maybe Oxford or Muscle Shoals. It was Muscle Shoals. Yeah, Muscle Shoals, and so they played two pretty tough opponents. And watching both of those games, I mean, both those football teams can play. So obviously. They've got a very good defense. Offensively, they haven't had a very good game offensively, and I think they're going to be coming down here thinking, hey, we're going to go up there and take care of business. And that's what I told our kids. They're going to think they're going to come down here and beat you, and so you got a little bit of surprise on your side there.
We've talked about belief and talked about, getting things going in the right direction. How big would this be in that belief if you can win and not only have your first win of the season, but it be a region win that is a big step towards making the 7A playoffs?
That would be huge for us because, we are loaded with sophomores playing. We're playing some kids out there right now that have never had any varsity experience that are playing, so several of them. And we were even playing some freshmen, and we started an 8th grader at quarterback last week. So it would be huge for us to go out there. If we can limit our mistakes and not have so many dang penalties, just silly penalties. It's not personal foul here or there, and then jumping off sides on 3rd and short or 4th and short. That's unacceptable. You ought to know they're going to try to draw you off sides. You shouldn't do that. So. We've got to limit all that stuff, and we need them to give us 2 or 3 turnovers.
Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. I know it's been a tough, couple of days for you, so we really appreciate you taking the time, and really looking forward to seeing how things go for you guys on Friday.
Well, I appreciate you all having me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll be back with more here on Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics right after this.